In this lesson, we're going to practice constructing and analyzing box plots. So there are 5 values that are needed to create a box plot. Your minimum, quartile 1, your median, also called quartile 2, quartile 3, and the maximum. Your quartile 1 and quartile 3 are just the medians of your two halves, so the median of the lower half and the median of the upper half. So when you construct a general box plot, and you often call them box and whisker plots, perhaps it looks something like this. You have your minimum, again, quartile 1. Your median is the middle line of that box, and quartile 3 over here, and this would be your maximum value. We'll talk about how that changes just a little bit if we add outliers. Remember that box plots split your data into approximately 4 parts, so 25% of your data is in each part of a box plot. So why is this whisker over here longer than this portion of the box? Why are they unequal? Does it mean that there's more data values over here? No. Box plots are great for showing the dispersion or the spread of your data. It means that your data is more spread out over here than it is in this portion. So let's look at a simple example. PVHS Tribe has an Instagram account. Here are the number of Instagram likes for 10 posts selected at random. So we're going to determine our 5-number summary by hand. In the next video, I'll quickly show you how to do it on the calculator. So to do this, you need to begin by ordering your data from least to greatest. Pause, and then restart the video when you're ready. So here are my 10 values in order. So the min is easy to see. My minimum value is 8 and my maximum is 38. So next I find the median. So I'm going to split my data in half. There were 10 numbers, so I would have 5 in either half. So the median falls between 16 and 18. It would be 17. My quartile 1 would be the median of the lower half. So I'm looking at just these 5 numbers, and the one smack in the middle is 14, so quartile 1. And then similarly, the upper half, 19, would be smack in the middle here. So we're going to begin now by constructing a box plot of our data. So I'm going to just place a number line, and you just need to scale your number line. So I need to include as low as 8 and as high as 38. So if this is 8, I'm going to make this one 10. I'm going to count by 2s. So 12, 14, 16, 18. Here would be 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Here's 40. And I wouldn't need to go higher than 40, right? And now the only 5 values would be from your 5-number summary, and they kind of hover up here, 8. Here's 14, 17, 19, and then up at 38. So the outer 2 create the whiskers, and the inner 3 create the box. Okay, so you notice that that right whisker is much longer, showing that our values are more spread out. And I've also placed a title. Up until this point, we've just identified values that look like they are potential outliers as being quite far from the rest of the data. Now we're going to come up with a rule known as the 1.5 times the IQR rule to see if we have outliers. And in general, what it means is you're going to find the inner quartile range, which you find by doing Q3 minus Q1, and multiply that by 1.5. And you'll add that onto the 3rd quartile and subtract it from quartile 1. Any values beyond those, what we would call fences, will be called outliers. So I'm a visual learner. Let me just show you. So if we have something that looks like this, you're finding these fences, okay? So just imagine that this is your upper fence, and over here an equidistant would be your lower fence. Anything beyond this value or beyond this value would be known as an outlier, and it would change the way our box plot looked. So let's compute the values of these lower and upper fences. All right? So for our particular problem, we need to find our IQR, which was 19 minus 14, or 5 was the value of our IQR. So our lower fence would be found by taking 14, which is quartile 1, minus 1.5 times the IQR, which we just saw was 5. So that's going to be 14 minus 7.5, excuse me, which would be 6.5. So our lower fence is 6.5. So anything smaller than 6.5 is an outlier. Our upper fence would be equal to take quartile 3, which is 19, and add on 1.5 times the interquartile range, which if I do that, that's going to be 26.5. So anything bigger than that is an outlier. So here's my data from our previous screen. So do I have any values less than 6.5? No. Do I have anything bigger than 26.5? Yes, 38. So 38 is an outlier. So let's just see, how does the shape of the box plot change when we identify that we have an outlier. So I still need to set up my horizontal axis. So my minimum is still 8. My quartile 1 was 14. 17 was my median. 19 was my third quartile. So this part does not change. And 38 had been my max. Now it's still my max, but now we're identifying 38 as a maximum. So it's just going to change this whisker. So rather than the whisker going all the way up to 38 like it did before, it's just going to stop here at the number that came before 38 in our data list, which was 21. So I'm going to stop my whisker right here at 21. Now you will also sometimes see outliers identified like with a little asterisk instead of just a point. I'll accept either. Letter F says, explain which measure of center and variability would best describe the shape of the distribution and why. So let's just take a look quickly at the box plot that we drew on our previous slide. Here it is. So that looks to me like it's right skewed. So if it's skewed, we want to use our resistant measures, which would be the median and the IQR. Additionally, if you weren't even given the raw data, you wouldn't be able to find the mean anyway. You'd have to talk about the median. So really, given box plots, I just always go with the median and the IQR to compare them. Lastly, there is a way to do all this on your graphing calculator, so you can find your 5-number summary and draw the box plot with it. So proceed to the next video to learn how to do that.